Recognized for 5 minutes.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Kirk, when you came to speak with the committee staff, you said that your job will be to oversee the Small Business Administration by adhering to the law and, as you put it, to call balls and strikes. And I wholeheartedly agree with that description. The IG is supposed to be neutral and independent like an umpire and not invent his or her own strike zone. With that in mind, I'd like to ask you about your views on a couple of pitches from the Trump administration. As you know, President Trump fired Mike Ware, the previous Inspector General at SBA, along with a dozen other Inspectors General across government late on a Friday night back in January of this year. When the President failed to provide any notification or justification to Congress, did he comply with Section 3 of the Inspector General Act of 1978? And I will read that to you, since you might not have that law in front of you. So let me read you the text of the Inspector General Act of 1978. If an Inspector General is removed from office, we're talking about Mr. Ware now, or is transferred to another position, the President shall communicate in writing the substantive rationale, including detailed and case-specific reasons for any such removal or transfer to both houses of Congress, not later than 30 days before the removal or transfer. Do you think that the President complied with the law?
Thank you, Ranking Member Markey. That is a matter that I understand is currently involved in litigation, and as such, it would be inappropriate for me to respond further.
All right. Well, let me move on. You previously worked for the former Environmental Protection Agency Inspector General Sean O'Donnell, who was also purged by the President in January of this year. Do you think that President Trump had a legitimate reason to fire him? And do you think he was fired lawfully?
Again, Senator, thank you for the question. As I mentioned, these are matters that are currently involved in pending litigation, and as such, it would be inappropriate for me to respond to them, to offer any more information on them.
Well, you know, you worked for Mr. O'Donnell for 3 years, and surely you must know his work. The President was required to provide a substantive rationale for his dismissal. He did not do that. So you don't have a view on whether or not just the technical aspects of it, the notification, was in fact fulfilled?
Again, thank you, Senator, for the question. As I mentioned, the matter is pending in litigation, and as such, it would be inappropriate for me to respond further to it.
Well, again, that's, very troubling to me because, we clearly have multiple issues that have to be dealt with in a way that does reflect the law as it has been written and should, in fact, be carried out. Let me move on to a question of whether or not you intend on looking at the role which DOGE has played in the SBA since January of this year to determine whether or not they have been complying with the law.
Thank you, Senator. I'm sorry, I wasn't sure if there was a question.
Yes, there is. There's a question. DOGE has been inside of the administration for the last 6 months. Are you going to be looking at the role which DOGE has played?
Thank you, Senator, for the question. I'm committed to addressing concerns that you have and the concerns of this committee that might come up.
You were detailed to the Department of Education this March and have been serving in a high-level political position since that time, Chief of Staff to the General Counsel. Back in March, President Trump proposed moving the $1.6 trillion student loan portfolio to SBA. Putting aside how disastrous that would be for millions of student borrowers across the country, do you believe that move could have been legal without congressional authorization?
Thank you, Senator, for the question. I came, as you mentioned, to the Department of Education back in March, and the intention was to, I believe, capitalize on my administrative and management experience. Many of those decisions were made prior to my arrival there, and I've been responsible within the GC's office for administering the office, helping redesign workflows, et cetera. So that's about all I can share with you on that question.
Do you believe it's lawful for the president to, quote, wind down the Department of Education as an agency that Congress has authorized and has appropriated funding for without getting authorization from Congress?
Thank you, Senator. I am, as I mentioned, I look forward to this role as the Inspector General, and in that role, I am committed to conducting and supervising audits and investigations. I don't believe that my opinions on those matters really are relevant to the work that I would be doing as the Inspector General.
And just to confirm, are you saying now under oath that you did not author, review, comment on, or edit any memos, policy documents, proposals, or legal guidance related to this administration's efforts to wind down the Department of Education?
Thank you, Senator, for the question. No, I'm not aware of any role that I had in any of those decisions. As I mentioned, I came in March of this year, and many of those decisions, I believe, were made prior to that time.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Madam.